joining you as we are preparing for the final games of the regular season for the Washburn football team. They are going to be heading south down Interstate 49 down to Joplin, Missouri at Fred G. Hughes Stadium for the final game of the regular season against the Missouri Southern State. We'll talk with head coach Craig Shurg about the game against the Lions, recap the game against Pittsburgh State, have some highlights. We will also get into our final edition of Questions from a Former Player. We will get into that. And then we're also going to talk with one of the assistant coaches of the Washburn football team. They will be joining us here at Skinny Sports Bar and Grill. Coming out Skinny Sports Bar and Grill, they get into two different sporting events on tonight. Of course, you have Thursday Night Football. It is the Carolina Panthers and the Atlanta Falcons in what is basically a hurricane, which is approaching, of course, that area of Charlotte, North Carolina. But also, we will be having KU basketball. They take on the Bison of North Dakota State. I can tell you if it was football, it would be much more competitive, but North Dakota State taking on KU at Howard Fieldhouse. Coming out here to Skinny Sports Bar. And don't forget this weekend, you've got 3 football games that you can come check out. Well, KU and K-State on the road. You got the Chiefs coming up on Sunday. Great place here at Skinny Sports Bar and Grill. But right now, we bring in the all-time winningest coach in Washburn football history. He is head coach Craig Shurg, joining us here at Skinny Sports Bar and Grill. Craig, my first question I've got for you, did you use the indoor today? A little bit rainy, a little bit windy, kind of a little bit chilly. Did we use the indoor today?
We did. We were soft. I looked at the schedule. They were saying severe weather possibility, and that came later. And then the wind, I was like, yeah, let's just keep it. So we were there. And it seems like you get a lot done. Obviously, if you're going to play in the cold, wet weather, you need to practice in it. Saturday's just supposed to be kind of cool, sunny, and good. So now we'll be in the indoor and enjoy the practice rather than. And when that wind blows, and we've been out there, when the wind's blowing, you can't hardly instruct anybody. It's hard to coach because they can't hear you. And so you can get more coaching done. It's almost like you're in the laboratory when you're in the indoor. It seems like you get more coaching done.
The other thing, too, is, Coach, I've always hated this when I talk. When I heard people say this, I do, but if it comes full circle, back in my day, you had to catch footballs in the cold, and they'd be humming it in there, and it hurt. And now we got 70 degrees, no wind, no rain. Back in my day, we were tough, and then you hear, back in, earlier days, they had 3 in it. Back in the early days, you got, Gene Stallings and the Junction Boys, Bear Bryant and A&M, where they're, getting tackled on, spurs and all that kind of stuff. I never wanted to be that guy, Coach. I'm that guy.
Yeah. Barehanded,
men were men, right? I still don't know how to treat it. I really don't know. Probably just like players out here. You guys had 2 days for 2 straight weeks. I can't even imagine a 3.
What's funny when you watch practice film or whatever, when you would do it, the speed of the practice was pretty bad. It was, because kids were going out those kind of but now when it's in good weather, and everything's fast, and you can see it in speed of game and stuff.
Well, that indoor facility, that's nice to have. And you can be so much more efficient and just such more prep, because I can't imagine practicing on Thursdays in the rain. I mean, you can get a little
No. In the film, you kind of coach off of it, and it's better. And you just while you're out there, but you can, and it's blowing it, and you're chasing it. So indoor, you get it done fast. You can start at 10 minutes less. Coach
We're talking with Coach Craig Sherry of the Washburn Ichabod's here on the Washburn Coach Show at Skinny Sports Bar and Grill. The Ichabod's coming up and lost to Pittsburgh State 37-23 in a game that had so many big plays, momentum swings, and a game that a lot closer than the final score indicated when it comes down to it. But Craig, when you try to look back at that one, I mean, gosh, there was 6 combined turnovers in the game, big time swings, 4th downs. I mean, it was that was a roller coaster.
It was. We got off to a great start. First drive, played the game. Jared took a very nice ball.
If you're talking about your,
and 70 yards, touchdown. It was like having a good start, and we needed to. That was a big confidence boost. But being a good team, they needed to. And then we had a mistake. We stopped them, and then we got the ball on like 3-yard line. They had dropped the touchdown in the end zone. It was great for us. And their front, some of the stuff they did kind of confused the block. And anyway, we confused the block, and they got safety. Kind of deflated him right away. Our kids kept fighting. And we didn't do a good job. We really did a good job during that game. Run mess. And we never got off the track. Connor seriously got hurt. And then kind of took us out of some things we wanted to do on the line. He had handed the pin their defense a little bit in the ball that we never could get on track. They're the nice job. And we were trying to hang it in there, but the third quarter we looked at as well. The wind was a factor, and defense really stepped it up in the second half. And we got back in the game. Scored, and we got a few after the turnover. And so it was a one-score game.
Yeah, it's 30-23 going into the fourth quarter, 15 minutes to go. Anybody's game.
Yeah, it actually, we got it, and we scored in the third quarter, and as a team, we were going to stop them. They would have had to win, and they got a.
but let me ask you, what if?
And then they did a nice job driving and flipping the field. They were down, they had to win on the back. We could have got that ball back in the third quarter. They were running to the end. That really did affect the company. And we could have had great field position again if they tied up. I was proud of the way our kids fought. And even at the end, we started as a one-score game for quite some time. And we had a chance to get back in it, and we had to turn it.
Yep. There were a lot of big plays in the third and fourth quarter. Really at the end of the first half as well. And I thought, honestly, one of the biggest plays of the game was a play that was made by the quarterback. He throws an interception. Peyton Lane, kind of what a smart play. He saw the ball, he's like, hey, they're just going to throw it out there. I mean, he kind of like knifes in between 2 guys, picks it off. And if he goes into the end zone, he scores, but he got pushed out of bounds at the 11. Couldn't find a way to get back, get some points there, because if he scores there, it's a completely different game. Those are the sneaky plays that don't show up, in a box score. That's not rushing yards, it's not passing yards, it's not total yards. That's, kind of in yards like that.
We were actually trying to drive our team in, and that was all down. And then they let us know they're trying to get it in points. And they did a great job. And the first time we first got the interception, and their quarterback was speed. He had 2 good attempts. We had 2 nice penalties. They did a nice job defending. They were 2 well thought out plays. Gave us a chance. And then Cameron didn't make the field goal. He comes back. In the third quarter, he makes a 45-yard and just drilled. And that got us, and it was a big deal. Like, we scored the game. Right back in it. We really haven't played that hard. We just had some big plays. We're really hoping to get them. Felt like we could get the run game going to get them on the field. They didn't have a line behind it. line was different. And we never got the run game. Kept up from game. Then you kind of figure out at that point. And then in the fourth quarter, we got them credits. They did turned out first. That was kind of in the second half.
For time with head coach Craig Sherman of the Washburn football team, they've about 6 throughout the year. They're ready to head south to Joplin, Missouri, to take on Missouri Southern State. That'll be 2 o'clock kickoff. 133 game coverage right here on your home for Washburn Athletics. Last country 106-9. They only scored 7 points in the second half. Defensively, really strong. You got the interception by Hank Lane, interception by Jay Ross, interception by Joey Tennessee. That was great stuff from the Washburn defense. What kind of change, what adjustments did you guys make in that second half to give you guys a chance?
I think with the running attack, because they moved the ball in the first half. In the running attack, we limited some of the runs down to 5, 6, 2, and reposition. So the line was right now. They had like a balance, but they had a big set. And nice position. And they just had and that was like and then we had a try we got some there. Anytime you get first down to the road, the offense has the upper hand. Yeah, I was proud of the
And the interesting thing is, this is they don't trade one. They don't. And they have 3 turnovers. And unfortunately, Washington didn't have a chance to come out of those 3 turnovers. We got to make good teams like that pay when it comes to the Pittsburgh State earlier. So that was, I thought, a game that, gosh, that one probably was maybe the most frustrating as well, because it was so close to see that get over the
it's hard to drive it. But like running the ball, they're going to slide into we call it double defense. He has some good scheme, but we do do it and execute it well. It makes it tough. The defense has a nice
when we talk about that, the Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
You want Patrick Mahomes to throw the football. We know that, right? He's the best football player right now in the NFL. It's not really close, especially if you saw it even Sunday night. But when that offense is really rolling, they run. Patrick Mahomes doesn't need to throw it 68 times. In fact, it's better, like the game against the 49ers, he threw only, 38 times. He scored 44. Like, I want Patrick Mahomes throwing the football, but you also know that run game helps out because it keeps the defense a little bit more honest.
Yeah, it's like body moves in the box. We're in the D-line that has the D-line and rushing the passer, it's exhausting, so they rotate. But when you run the ball, you wear them out like physically, it's part of your body. And so the offensive line can get after it, running down, having to make tackles. slow them down, and then your passing game is so much better. The play action is so much better. Linebackers are big secondary. So yeah, rookie, that's why you hear so many people talk about rookie. And people look at it and say, well, you're just like a body player. You can't throw haymakers in boxes. Wear yourself out. Not in the letters to put some gloves.
Head coach green shirt here on the Washburn Coaches Show from Skinny's Sports Bar and Grill. At Skinny's, Monday through Friday, 11 to 2, $5.99 cheeseburger and fries here at Skinny's Sports Bar and Grill. It is way better than the drive-thru. You can always sell those fries for the tots and get them here at Skinny's Sports Bar and Grill. Got a lot more of head coach Greg Shirt and then you get the regular season game against Missouri.
Boy, the picture
down in Joplin, 2 o'clock kickoff, 1:33 in coverage. We'll be back with some highlights. Also gets to our questions from the former, and we'll talk with assistant coach Handel and all coming up. You're listening to the Washburn Coaches Show. Bar. Highlights from the Washburn Ichabods and the Pittsburgh State Gorillas contest on Saturday at Yager Stadium. The Ichabod's now 6-4 on the year as they gear up to take on the Missouri Southern State Lions coming up on Saturday. And so that one, a tough one. What was the kind of the message as we're talking with head coach Greg Shear here on the Washburn Coaches Show here from Skinny Sports Bar and Grill? What's kind of the message there in the postgame?
Yeah, I told him after the game. I mean, obviously we got off a really fast start in the game, but they kind of took control in that first half, and they're a very good team. You can see why they were undefeated in conference, which is hard to do. But I was proud of the way our kids fought back in the second half, and told them that, just we fought hard, and gave up too many plays, and we didn't establish any type of run game on our offense. We were very one-dimensional as an offense, and they took control of the line of scrimmage there. And that's something that you're not going to win many games like that. But I did say we played hard, and it's disappointing. We wanted to get that game and maybe get ourselves in the conversation for other things, but it just wasn't meant to be. And we got to hand it to Pitt. They're a very good football team. Special teams to offense and defense, extremely sound in what they do, and very solid in what they do, and they're very good at what they do. So basically, we want to then we have to flip the page. We had an interesting practice this week because we practiced on Monday. You could not practice or do anything on Tuesday because of election day. So that was a Division II put out, and so you couldn't do anything, no meetings, anything mandatory. So we had kind of a pseudo Tuesday practice on Monday. You couldn't get all of Tuesday stuff in because it was so hard on the guys. But I was proud of the way they came back. The linemen, you think they would be really sore. And we got quite a bit done on Monday, off Tuesday, which is weird. Came back Wednesday, had a nice practice Wednesday. We were in indoor today. Felt like a good practice. So we'll see. Hopefully we play really well. We need to play well against Southern. You wrap up the season 7-4, maybe get a bowl bid, something like that. So we should be in the running for some of that, and we got a very good team. So we'd like to, these seniors, you just don't want it to end. We've got 21 of us. We'd like to have an additional game.
Yeah, I forgot about the rule where they have to be and it makes sense, and I have no problem with it, but I wonder if it'd be a lot easier if you just said, hey, how about this? We pile everybody in a couple buses and we just go down to,
get registered
and go and do that type of thing. So
D1 had it initially, and then there were so many ways, we want to do this, that. So I think they did not. D2 initiated it this year. First year we've done that. And so all sports in season, out of season, whatever, on this Tuesday, election Tuesday, you could have nothing mandatory. It was all voluntary. And so we used that as our off day. So it's kind of unique, and felt like we got back on pace. Thursday seemed like a regular Thursday, but it's kind of an interesting way to do it. It was really weird on Tuesday because with practice time, you're just kind of like that. And so you watch it, and you're like, well, there's nothing really left to watch. So it's kind of a different deal.
Yes, and coaches are such a creature of habit. A creature of habit, no question.
Especially when you're like me. But Wednesday felt like a Thursday for some reason. Thursday felt like we're back on track now. We know today it is.
The practice tomorrow, and then head on out to Joplin coming up on Friday afternoon, gearing up for the game on Saturday. And when it comes to, let's say, if you take care of business, you're 7-4, and it is there. I know there's 3 bowl games out there. It all kind of depends on who gets in. You'd like to think that the MIAA will get 2 teams in, but then it comes down to some team says no, that type of thing. Then it goes down. Do you have any idea?
There's 2 basic bowl games that I'm familiar with right now. One is the Live United in Texarkana, and they do a really nice job. Emporia played in it last year. We've never played in it. Missouri Western's played in it a couple of times. Pitt's played in it a couple of times. And the word is that they do a great job. And they're always going to have a GAC school, and then they either pick an MIAA or a local school. And then there's Corsicana Heritage Bowl in Corsicana, and they pick a Lone Star team typically, and then they'll either take a GAC or an MIAA team. So those two, we're on their short list, and winning, definitely help us 7-4. And Southern's good. I mean, all their scores have been tight. And they're physical. They're really a physical team. They've done a good job. And coaching staff there, so it'll be a tough game. But hopefully, we'll play well. 7-4 is a pretty good resume, and we'll just kind of see what happens. And then certain teams win, and they get into the playoffs, and that helps them too. So the more MIAA teams make the playoffs, the better.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what shakes out. As we found out last year, I mean, you had no idea you were in until 10 o'clock at night, that day, because it came down, it was razor thin.
When it comes to a lot of teams playing each other, so again, the GAC, some of the main teams are playing each other, so knock each other out. Our region is just kind of, it's a pain because we got the GAC, we got us, we got
There's four teams,
yeah,
not 14 regions, four conferences, with the Grand Valley State, Ferris State, and then you've got the GAC, and then you got the GLVC plus the MIAA. I mean, not many of the regions, I don't think, have four conferences.
We used to have, and I don't know why it got switched around. We used to be with the Lone Star, Rocky Mountain, and then they tied in with like Central Washington.
Yep.
Well, that Central Washington region, they oftentimes couldn't get in because they're not an automatic bid. They don't have the teams in the conference, so they have to play everybody, and they would have to almost run the table, maybe one lot. So a lot of times they were almost discounted, and so really you just had a Lone Star us and the RMAC. And a lot of times the RMAC would only get one team in, so that was a way better region for us, football-wise anyway. And I don't know how it got switched around, but the way it is now with us and the Great Lakes and the GAC, and then you also get that GLBC, it's like it's tough.
When it comes to scheduling and everything,
What are they
do
doing?
you think it would benefit MIAA to play a non-conference
That's
game?
what I was on the committee that looked at it, and a number of the schools said, yeah, let's have some non-conference games, let's schedule the GAC, let's schedule these teams, and you can build your resume. So if you play good teams that have above 500 records, so say we played Mines this year, and then we played one other team, say we played, Henderson State. Well, you're matching up against really good teams. If you can win those games, your strength of schedule is going to be huge. And that was like when you played, we got in with 3 losses, I think. We had the toughest schedule in the country. We played Shadron, and then we played one of the Washington schools, I believe.
Northwest Pitt.
And then Northwest Pitt. So we had our conference schedule, but then when we did lose, we lost to a team that was like 10-1. And so we had the highest schedule, strength of schedule, and that's what pushed us over the top. So, we have talked about that right now. We're a closed schedule, all conference games. Some of the schools did not want to have an open schedule because they have a hard time scheduling. So they have a hard time, people don't want to play them. So they got to pay people to come play them. And so, they weren't really interested in it. But other schools were like, yeah, we'd rather play these. And some of it's regional, like Kearney could play Wayne State and Shadron and build up a rivalry. We'd love to go play Mines. It was a fun trip.
That was so much fun. Yeah. And you get to face somebody other than the teams that you normally see. And I know we played them every single year, but it was different. It had a different feel.
Yeah, so and the people that were for open schedule, that's basic. You get to play. And so like Missouri Southern, they may want to go play one of those Arkansas
NEO or
an Oklahoma school. And so you can get some regional rivalries going. And I understand Northwest because like no one wants to play anymore because,
That sounds like a them problem.
but maybe Grand Valley would want to play or something like that. So it does. I think it's fun for the kids. We had those Central Washington games, the Western Washington games. We played Abilene Christian. We had some cool games.
Yeah.
Shadron was one of the better games we've ever had at Yankee Stadium. We saw Danny Woodhead run 300 yards.
All in about the third quarter.
Yeah, fourth quarter, he had over 100 yards. But I mean, talking about games, and conference games are great, but if you play someone new, that's why the bowl games are kind of cool. You play someone you don't.
Like Angelo State, all I heard was, oh my gosh, this Angelo State. They're so fast, their defense, they're so athletic. And then Washburn goes down there and absolutely pops them in the mouth and you win by 20. Like, I thought that was so much fun.
But it is fun, and your kids get excited because you're playing somebody different, and both schools kind of want to represent their conference as well, and you kind of, we both look forward to it. But yeah, I don't know if we'll get to that. I know about half the schools are like, yes, let's do it because it helps our scheduling. And then half the schools are like, no, it's too hard to schedule. And they want to keep it the way it is.
Well, I should be in charge, and I would make a lot of different. I would make a lot of different. What's best for the student athletes? Even the Northwest players. Let's say no one wants to schedule Northwest. Northwest would rather play other teams too, like the players do. Do what's best for the players, and that's the same thing I talk about with regionalization. Oh, great. Like last year, if you beat Harding, oh sweet, we get to play Northwest again. Like you got to get rid of that. I think Division II does a lot of things right, but I think Division II does a lot of things wrong and could easily get those changed if they figure it out. They could figure it out. I really, really do. It could be a lot better situation. And the new college football playoff at the Division I level, we're going to play so many games. Division II plays 15, the champion plays 15, sometimes 16 games a year. So, poor Clemson, they got to play 2 extra games. D2's been doing that forever.
They've got, well, now with the NIL, they've got 100, whatever their roster is, all the guys on some scouts.
Yeah.
They got 100.
Don't miss me with what about schooling? We have Division II takes care. That's true student athletes. That's D1 level when it comes to that. We'll get a quick time out. We've got another edition of questions from the former. Another former Think About will join us to ask head coach Craig Sherman a question, and then we'll preview Missouri Southern, and then we'll talk with assistant coach Baylor Luke. That's all coming up here on the Washburn Coaches Show. to engage here in the capital city, talking all things Washburn football for the final edition of the Washburn Football Coaches Show. As long as the Ichabod's, if they play in a bowl game coming up, which most of the bowl games are all scheduled on the same date. Most of the bowl games, if Washburn would play in one, would be December 3rd. That would be the bowl game date that Washburn would be playing. If they get the win on Saturday and then get selected to go to a bowl game, you get one more game for these 21 Washburn Ichabod seniors as we bring back in head coach Greg Schurig of the Washburn Ichabods. Before we get to the Missouri Southern State Lions, Coach, hopefully you enjoyed our little fun segment.
That's really good segment.
Of our questions from the former Ichabod player. What we've tried to do is I try to run down the former player and ask head coach Greg Schurig a question. And this individual was really good. And he was at the game on Saturday. So here's another edition of questions from the former. That is Trey Lewis, the All-American 5-year NFL vet right here out of Washburn Rural High School. And he asks, what's one of your favorite plays that got you super excited, ready to go, and which play was one that got you a little bit on the frustrated side, let's call it like that?
Well, that's a tough one. Boy, a couple ones that just come to mind. We were playing Pitt at home, and Fletcher Terrell kickoff return. He just I can still see it. He just kind of started running, and he has these big strides. And he just takes off. And when he took off and took that kickoff return back, he was like, we're going to win this game. Our guys want it more than they want it. And then maybe in that same game, it was overtime, and they had missed the extra point, I guess. Yeah. And we made a power play, and Trent Hearn bounce, and he's in, and it was all right. And I just those lock in.
That was the only time that fans rushed the field at Yager Stadium.
Connor made the extra point.
When he made the extra point, fans just rushed the field for Washburn's first win.
Those two plays are almost like slow motion in my head. I was still kind of remembering them. And then plays that were tough. There's a couple of Northwest ones. We had the lead, and there's like how they've come back on us a couple of times, those are, and then we had one we went for two at our place, and really Hastings ran like a big shot. Dayton had a nice little throw, and down the linebacker somehow he got his ball in there and just.
I remember that play. I was in the stands for that one.
Because when he threw it, I was like, yes, like, we got this, we got the 10-pointer, like, what? No. But those are it's tough to single out a play, but there's probably about 20 plays that are just in your mind, and some of them make you smile, some of them make you cry, But yeah, those are that first time we beat Pitt here at Yager Stadium was pretty cool, and it just seemed like a couple of them they were almost in slow motion, and those are two of them.
Yeah, and so when Trey asked me that, I thought, well, that's a pretty good question with that. But Trey Lewis, incredible. I looked at Trey Lewis was kind of the start of the NFL. Most of the time you don't think of NFL players at the Division II level, especially back in 2008.
Right.
Because we were still using VHS tapes and that type of thing. But Trey was he was a different animal, and then that started everything with Trey Lewis, and then Fletcher Terrell, and then Kerry Williams, and then Brian or Joe Hastings, Mike Wilhoit, Brian Folkerts, and then Corey Valentine. So I mean, like if you think about it. And then Kyle Higgins, same situation. Like Trey was the one who started that.
Yeah, and his was really the definition of it. So, like when they come and the scouts would come, you're like, well, these guys have to dominate. They can't just be really good players. You have to dominate. He was the definition of dominant. I mean, you turn on the film, he would, he's a three-man front sometimes. Just throw away the triple team,
I remember the one play against Northwest Missouri State. At Northwest, the year we beat them, he went through a triple team and he knocked the ball out of the or batted it up in the air, and Cody Hufeld ended up with it. It was one of the most remarkable plays I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's one of those I can remember.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, so that was kind of the definition. When you go from Division II to the NFL, your film could be really good or great. You still had to be dominant. His was the definition of dominant. Every time when you turn it on, and he just swatted the guys away. He played so hard, and it's hard to do what he did. I mean, he got drafted,
and he was a true freshman. He didn't get redshirted. I always think about that, like. Holy smokes, how good he would have been if he redshirted his freshman year and then played in 07. Holy cow.
And then he was a starting defensive tackle right off. Early in their career for the Atlanta Falcons, they were damn good. And you watch them and you're like, he's doing the same stuff, but yeah, he was tremendous. And probably, I don't know if there's been a better D lineman in MIAA, since I've been in. I've coached it for 30 years. There may have been like a rush in or something. I don't know. He's a dominant player, actually.
And it was crazy because he wasn't heavily recruited.
No, and he didn't really love football. Football was unhappy for him to go to school and get paid for. He's very intelligent. Just wanted to get his degree, and then he kind of started to like the game, and then started getting fired up about it. And then he got fired up,
That's a big dude coming after you.
And then he started, and then strength and conditioning wise, he walked into that, and he's truly an NFL D lineman, and as good as you can do.
Yeah, Trey Lewis right here. To me, I thought it was a fun question.
Yeah, it's a great question.
The highs and the lows of the season, especially for 21 years. All right, Missouri Southern. This is a team that runs the football. They got the second leading rusher, Nathan Blades. Defensively, they got two of the top 5 tacklers now. Grant Ritter's still 30 tackles ahead of, but they got Richard Jordan, really good. This is a team that very physical when it comes to this Missouri Southern team.
That's the number one word to describe them. They've been in very close games. They're extremely physical group, offensively and defensively, and they run the ball downhill, so we don't see a lot of teams do. And so the key for us is to really slow down the run game. They have good passing too. We really need to slow down the run game, force them into some 3 and outs, and hopefully get on track with our offense in running it and throwing the ball well, and really play well. They're
when it comes to a game that you're not going to have the football maybe a lot, whereas other games it's so quick turnaround. Do you do things differently? Do you do things differently because it's maybe the last game of the year?
Our scheme is designed to be a team that we can make big plays, but our scheme really is to be in third short and be efficient in third downs. We're good on third downs, and now you're driving. So our basic principles are you garner each possession, you make the most of each possession, and if you like, we're not a real risky offense. We're going to control passing, run the ball, get first down, take a shot. But it fits our scheme.
Well, it'll be a 2 o'clock kickoff from Joplin, Missouri, Fred G. Hughes Stadium. 133 game coverage. Best of luck.
Thank you, Jake. I appreciate it. Thanks all season.
That is head coach Craig Shurd of the Washburn Hickox. Coming up next, we'll finish things off with assistant coach Malin Luke will join us here from the Washburn Coaches Show. On this edition of the Washburn Coach Show, we've got a couple games going on right now. You've got Georgia Southern and Louisiana, a little Thursday night action. Of course, the NFL, the Falcons taking on the Panthers. And then at 7 o'clock, we've got KU taking on North Dakota State. They'll have that game on the TVs here at Skinny Sports Bar and in the Grill. But right now, we're going to bring on assistant coach of the Washburn Hickox in his second year, Malin Luke, joining us. And coach, you got a running team coming to town. Well, I guess we're going to their town, but another running team that you guys are going to have to slow down when it comes to this. And is it more fun to prepare for a running team or a passing team?
I don't know. It's really pretty much the same. We'll think about this team. There's no secrets to what they're doing. So from a preparation standpoint, it's easy. They are what they are, and not to say, okay, I think the best way to do it. So from a preparation standpoint, it's if you can just play these guys. Now they do. Obviously, we like to
When it comes to being a defensive line coach, and boy, I'll tell you what, the D line has played very well this year, and a lot of seniors. So when you look at it, like Lander, what a great career he's had. Braden Rose, what a fantastic career he's had. Daniel Piper, you got so many guys up there that this has been kind of a lot more coach because they kind of know what to do. You don't have to tell them. Yeah, I get it. It seems like. And so this is going to be a fun year for me.
I think it'll be all right. I think that.
But if you want to listen to it better, it's easy. If you want to come over here and stand by that screen,
Coaches, and all four of those guys are really good because the type of people they are, not only on the field, but also off the field. And obviously, it makes my job as a coach so much better. And really, those are the epitome of what you do as a coach.
We're talking with the D-line coach for the Washburn Cubs, Balaam Luke, joining us. And speaking of D-line, you've been a defensive coach and everything. I gotta know when you watch like an NFL game, when you watch a game like that, do you specifically watch D-line? Do you watch certain things? And coaches watch games differently than us normal people.
Well, the thing with me is, to be honest with you, I enjoy watching baseball more than football.
Because you can't turn it off, I bet.
Right, yeah. You're sitting there, you're analyzing it, and you're looking at things. You really don't see the game from the game. You're looking at this, you're looking at that, and from a relaxing standpoint, it's difficult. Yeah, you're right. I can't turn it off. So.
Do you, when you're watching a game and you've got the DVR button, where you wind it up?
Yeah. So like, how do you do that? I brought it back a couple times and you said, so yeah, no question. That's the problem.
I always like to talk to football guys, and I consider yourself a football guy. So give me the football guys that you watched with on the defensive line, being from the PA area. I gotta know. I'm assuming you were a big Reggie White guy.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've been again. To be honest with you, this was the first time that I've ever had the defensive line in my room.
Okay.
I always was started as a secondary coach, and then coach me got down to linebacker when I would be a coordinator or something like that. And but no, Richard White is obviously a guy that you always watch. Richard Dent from the Chicago Bears. Was a guy I was always impressed with. And so some of those older guys, you watch maybe the star stats. Again, you're sitting there, not necessarily watching I'm trying to look at this whole thing and say, how did they do that? Like you said, going back, looking at it.
Do you ever pick up anything where you're like, maybe we should try that?
Oh yeah. Some different ideas. I think part of being a coach is always professional fantasy. So I was really obviously doing physicals, but then again, when you're watching games, you can be a college too. And everything like that. coaching in Pennsylvania. I used to go visit Penn State and spend a lot of time with Larry Johnson. I think he's a pretty good guy.
Yeah, he's at Ohio State now.
Right.
Yeah, they churn out dudes left and right.
Yeah, so he put a lot of guys in the NFL, and so a lot of the things that we do here, I try to coach here, things that I learned from him, and things that
We're talking with assistant coach Malin Luke. All right, Malin, I got to ask you. You don't have to give me any specific details because I'm not going to lie, I don't know the NCAA rule book the way you do. So I'm just going to ask general questions here. You're the recruiter that got a bunch of Georgia kids here to Washburn. How on earth do you get a kid from Georgia or Ohio or that area? How do you say, you probably never even heard of Washburn. How do you do that?
Well, it's Washburn. There's a lot of things to sell. Obviously, we look at our facilities and what we have here. We look at the program that Craig has established here. It's a capital. You got the FBI building on campus. You got law school on campus. But the point is, there are a lot of things to do to sell here. And so once you get on campus and they get to see those things that you have, it's pretty easy. There's a lot of good football players in Ohio, football players in Georgia, and there's just not that many places go to compare outside of football. And so that's doing very well. It's been an easy sell. It's great what Washburn has, and you get the kids on campus and you see all those things. So really, Washburn kind of sells itself, I think, once I get on campus.
I've always wondered that when I saw the last recruiting class. I'm like, this has never happened before. I sent a text to Coach Sherry. I said, Coach, I didn't know you had a pipeline down there into the Georgia area. He said, no, that's all Malin. And I'm assuming that's just a bunch of connections that you've had, being in the business for so long.
Right. I started when I first started recruiting. I used to go to Florida. And Florida was just so saturated with college coaches. We kind of moved up into Georgia and been recruiting there for 20-some years. And of course, Ohio, I've been recruiting for 20 years. So, again, yeah, it's a lot of connections. I have guys that trust me and not just from a football standpoint, but from academic standpoint, and things like that. So I do have a lot of guys down there who help me push guys and say, hey, this is what we should look at and everything. And like I said, once I get to the campus, I just think Washington sells itself. And again, it's just because of the things that we offer outside of football. And the state capital, there's so many opportunities
I always like to talk, because head coach Craig Sherrick took over as head coach in 2002. You've been a head coach for quite some time. What's the biggest change from year one when you were a head coach till now? It can be technology, it can be on the field, it can just, I'm interested.
Well, I think first of all, being a head coach, I understand. So I think I'm a good assistant coach because I've been in that chair. And that chair is hot and gets cold sometimes. So I understand that now as an assistant. And then, things have changed. Obviously, you mentioned the technology and the way and everything like that. So obviously, that's changed. But I think the biggest thing, I think I can be a lot more healthy to a head coach because again, I sat in that chair.
I never would have thought of that.
I know what that is, and I know that chair is high. That chair is low sometimes. So I understand. I really think, I look back at it and I always think guys should start out as head coaches because they become better assistant coaches because you understand what that position goes through.
Well, Melon, we appreciate the time. Safe travels with the team tomorrow down to Joplin. Let's get a win, be 7-4, and see where the chips see where they fall.
Sounds good to me.
That is Malin Luke, the assistant coach. Coaches the D-line for the Washburn Nicolayans. That'll do it here from Skinny Sports Bar and Grill. We'll be here next week for a basketball edition. We'll have head coach Brett Ballard and head coach Laura Wesley talking all things basketball. But coming up on Saturday, it will be Washburn versus Missouri Southern, 2 o'clock kickoff, 1:30 coverage. Tomorrow, we'll have Washburn basketball. That's right, Washburn men in action against Henderson State. The Washburn women also in action against Southwestern Oklahoma State. Then Saturday, both are in action, women on 580 and then on 106.9. So a lot of sports for Washburn coming your way. That'll do it here from Skinny Sports Bar and Grill. For head coach Greg Shirk, Malin Luke, and our studio producer engineer Evan Davidson. I'm Jake Love saying so long from Skinny Sports Bar and Grill.